In the headlines, Ebonyi State House of Assembly declares 3 PDP lawmakers' seats vacant as Mai Mala Buni retakes APC Secretariat. Northeast Development Commission unveils 10-year development plan. Nigeria's inflation again rises above 15% in February. And on the foreign scene, Russian TV protester on trial over invasion of Ukraine faces 10 days in prison. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Now the news in full. Ebonyi State House of Assembly on Tuesday declared the seats of 3 members of the Assembly elected under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, vacant. This followed a letter of resignation purportedly written by the 3 lawmakers resigning from their seats. The embattled Speaker of the House, Francis Mwifuru, read the letter during an emergency sitting of the House. Recall that on 8 March 2022, the Federal High Court, sitting in Abuja, in a declaratory judgment, sacked the Ebonyi State Speaker and 15 other lawmakers for defecting from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressive Congress, APC, in the state. Meanwhile, All Progressive Congress, APC, has declared that Yobe Governor Mai Mala Buni remains the National Chairman, Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the All Progressives Congress. The National Secretary of the party stated this on Tuesday while addressing the media at the party's headquarters in Abuja. He said it became necessary to clarify the events of last week, referring to the takeover of the chairmanship seat by Niger Governor Sani Bello, and insisting that the ruling party is crisis-free, strong and united in giving Nigeria the transformative leadership and good governance promised. The APC has been enmeshed in crisis in the last 2 years, which led to the removal of its erstwhile chairman, Adams Oshiomhole. Meanwhile, a renowned information, loan and risk management consultant, Dr. Ibrahim Bello Dauda, has joined the race to the presidency with a message that a united, digital and prosperous Nigeria is possible. Declaring his intentions to contest the nation's #1 seat on Tuesday at a press briefing in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, Ibrahim Dauda, an APC stalwart, says his active interactions with various sectors give him an edge over others. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
After a painstaking diagnosis of the current challenges bedeviling the nation, Ibrahim Dauda says he is in the race to consolidate on the achievements of the present administration, bringing to bear his wealth of experience and personal integrity.
I am a fellow of the Institute of Information Management, Africa, fellow of the Chartered Institute of Loans and Risk Management, Nigeria, fellow Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, with other certifications in intelligence, criminology, security studies, cybercrime, investigations, environmental health and safety, forensics, graphology, and project management. I am also certified in enterprise risk governance, sustainability governance, and member of the World Institute of Nuclear Security. Under me, Nigeria will be administered by a leadership synergy, blended from the finest qualities and merits of the old and the new generations, with a greater emphasis on women and youths.
Responding to inquiries on how to confront the current challenges of insecurity by transforming the over 12 million out-of-school children, Ibrahim Dauda says the situation requires a systematic approach and legislative intervention.
Mopping out or changing the perspective in terms of the 10-15 million projected out-of-school children is going to be a short-term, mid-term, and long-term process. By that I mean the immediate is to do a holistic data acquisition, because without data you cannot plan. We will need to know first, tentatively, how many do we have? From which geographical location of this country are they from? Why are they where they are? What are the status, or what is the status of their parents? Socially, economically, educationally. When you acquire all this data, you will be able to know, and then you have the age grades of each child, male or female. Almost 100% are male in that respect. The female girl child problem we have in the issue of refusal by parents to take them to school, putting them at risk of street hawking and other, unethical practices. So when you acquire data, you can now plan.
While speaking on wide range of policy options towards a robust economic development, sound foreign policy objectives, sustained synergy among stakeholders, he also believed providing agricultural incentives and value addition is critical to attaining food sufficiency. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And still talking politics, ahead of the March 26 All Progressive Congress APC National Convention, a group known as the APC Advanced Youth Congress Northwest Zone, Zamfara State Chapter, wants the zone to produce the next organizing secretary for the party. The group made their position known while addressing a press conference in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital, saying if the APC must win the 2023 elections, it must field credible candidates for all positions. The report.
As build-up to the 2023 elections and the ruling All Progressives Congress National Convention, politicians have intensified political scheming to have political advantage over competitors. It is against this background that APC Advanced Youth Congress Northwest Zone Zamfara State Chapter is cautioning the party to ensure credible candidates emerge as leaders of the party if APC must win the 2023 election.
As youth who had the support of our leaders, we need to consider great factors in having the right people to represent us in the party during the forthcoming national convention. We are all aware that, indeed, Honorable Abubakar Sadiq Fakai is the heart of the champion of the youth, whose attribute, dexterity toward prosperous youth, non-noble.
The group believes that the qualities any candidate must have include humility, transparency, honesty, and proven integrity.
As we are aware that in the past years, Kebbi State has never produced a member of the National Working Committee, this is our great chance to support Fakai to climb the leader to be a member of the National Working Committee in this forthcoming APC National Convention 2022. I therefore call on all our youths, sons and sons, to prepare ground and support the potential leader to elect as a member of the APC National Working Committee. Hopefully, APC National Organizing Secretary of our great party.
The group therefore called on all youth and other members of the APC to support candidates who have the credentials, capacity and capability to emerge as leaders of the party during the forthcoming national convention.
Now to legislative matters, where the Senate on Tuesday made moves to re-amend the Proceeds of Crime, Recovery and Management Bill 2022, passed by the Chamber on March 9, 2022. The decision to amend the bill followed the consideration of a motion for a recommittal sponsored by the Senate leader, Yahya Abdullahi. In his presentation, Senator Yahya Abdullahi relied on Orders 1B and 52, subsection 6 of the Senate Standing Order 2022 as amended to move for the amendment of the bill, and explained that the re-amendment of the bill became imperative in view of the amendment that is made to Clause 74, which placed the burden of proof on the investigating agencies, but not on the defendant, as recommended by the Joint Committee in its report. The Senate thereafter recommitted the bill to the Committees on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, and Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes to engage the relevant agencies with a view to exploring safeguard against abuse. The Proceeds of Crime Bill seeks to provide for restraint, seizure, confiscation and forfeiture of properties derived from unlawful activities. Federal High Court, sitting in Abuja on Tuesday, threatened to strike out the 500 million naira fundamental right enforcement suit the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abba Kyari, filed against the federal government. Kyari, who is currently in custody of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, is facing trial over his alleged involvement in drug trafficking. He had, before his arraignment on March 7th, instituted the legal action to challenge his arrest and detention by the NDLEA. The application is, among other things, praying the court to order the federal government to pay him 500 million naira and also tender written apology to him in 2 national dailies for the unlawful violation of his fundamental rights. Meanwhile, at the resumed proceedings in the matter on Tuesday, the NDLEA, through its Director, Prosecution and Legal Services, Joseph Sunday, informed the court of being served a further affidavit by Kyari's lawyer, Cynthia Ikenna, which is out of time. Involvement of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Commandant General Special Intelligence Squad in the fight against vandalism, illegal bunkering and crude oil theft in the Niger Delta region is yielding positive results. 19 suspects involved in transportation of illegally refined products have been arrested in Delta State and the products confiscated. Delta State NSCDC Commandant Akisonya Abiodun, while parading the suspects in Asaba, restates the command's resolve to go after vandals. Drivers of the tankers loaded with 45,000 litres of illegally refined automated gas oil and another 40,000 litres of the same product said they were only paid to transport the products. However, the commandant said they will be charged to court to face the law.
Within 48 hours of arrival of this tactical team, a lot of arrests have been made. People that are dealing in illegal petroleum products. We have 8 trucks arrested and 19 suspects. They were arrested along Ugeli Ogwachuku Road on their way to outside the states. And this, we have been giving warning to them. We have also destroyed some camps. We didn't leave that one alone. Our own anti-vandal squad equally arrested a trailer truck along Patani Road.
On our way expressway from Bayelsa to Wari, before we reach Ogele, there where they arrest us with this truck on carrying AGO.
You just told me to go and transport it from Agwachuku to Asaba here. That's all.
This arrest made were handed over to us. Investigation continues. By Monday, unfailingly, some of them will be taken to court, and we are sure that they will start cooling their heels in the prisons. By the time we make 2 or 3 scapegoats, others will look for a tangible means of livelihood.
And Northeast Development Commission is consulting stakeholders on implementation of its 10-year development plan for the region. The Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan is designed to help the region recover from the devastation caused by Boko Haram insurgency in the region. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan, NESDMP, runs between 2020 and 2030 to reflect the needs of the people. In the master plan, the Northeast Development Commission is holding an engagement meeting at the state level, and this time it is the turn of Gombe State. Governor Inwa Yahya, represented by the Secretary to the state government, said hands must be on deck to ensure successful implementation of the plan.
Our active participation in this important consultative meeting is crucial to ensuring the success of the Commission. This is because without a good roadmap that affects or reflects the true yearnings and aspirations of the people of the sub-region, it will be difficult for the Commission to achieve the primary objectives of coordinating the resettlement, rehabilitation, integration, and reconstruction of infrastructure in the sub-region. It is my sincere hope that today, this document we are in the process of developing will provide effective strategies and practical steps that will be taken to achieve the objectives of the Northeast Development Commission. I therefore urge you to provide valuable inputs during each of the thematic sessions, bearing in mind that as stakeholders in the state, you are the voice of the people.
The NEDC said the master plan will address various problems in the region.
The master plan is not only about Boko Haram. The master plan is to take care of whatever it is, like you heard what people are saying. There is an underlying factor that brought about Boko Haram. Unless you address it, you continue having something like Boko Haram. So this master plan is to help at least develop, provide empowerment for the youth, especially because most of the problems we're having is with the youth. When you empower the youth, when you create economic development, then likelihood is you have peace and you have progress, and therefore you don't expect another Boko Haram to arise. And then of course this region will be propelled to grow, just like the other regions of Nigeria.
However, one big challenge for the NEDC and other stakeholders is how to implement the plan.
It's one thing to write what it is that is supposed to be done, to design it as an architect, as you said, but it's another to make sure that it is realized. So resourcing and robust implementation framework are two critical things that we have to put in place, with a very well-developed monitor and evaluation system that will keep on identifying failures and deviations from the plan and what corrective actions to be put back in order to make sure that the plan has achieved its own desired goal by 2030. So there will be a lot of hands-on-deck activities to be done, not only by the NEDC itself, but by all the stakeholders. So there will be sensitization, mobilization, to make sure that everybody is carried along and is actively participating in the implementation.
The NEDC said the Gombe State 10-year development plan is in line with the Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And United Kingdom Embassy in Nigeria has announced the temporary suspension of study, work and family visa applications. In a statement posted on the official Twitter page of the United Kingdom Embassy in Nigeria on Tuesday, explained that the reason is because priority has been placed on applications made under the Ukraine Family Scheme, noting that the Ukraine Family Scheme is launched in response to the humanitarian crisis arising from the invasion of Ukraine. The statement, titled Temporary Suspension of Priority Visas for Student, Work and Family Applications, clarified that Nigerians whose passports were ready for collection will be contacted by the Visa Application Center. You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up after the break, aged women overtake men in Jos. This and more after the break. Do stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Update. Now a look at our top stories. Ebonyi State House of Assembly on Tuesday declared the seats of 3 members of the Assembly elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, vacant. And Northeast Development Commission is consulting stakeholders on implementation of its 10-year development plan for the region. Now moving on to other news, Nigeria has recorded 12 new cases of COVID-19 across 4 states in the country. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, in its update for Monday, March 14th, said the data showed 1 person discharged after recovering from COVID infection. According to the NCDC record, no person died of COVID complications, keeping the fatality figure at 3,142 so far. A total of 255,001 infections have been confirmed in the country, with 249,373 recoveries. Now, some elderly women in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have overtaken men when it comes to breaking stones into smaller pieces for sale. Men are known to engage in this manual stone breaking for livelihood. Dixon Adama reports that the business is no longer exclusive monopoly of men. The report.
The elderly women not only showed dogged determination, but proved that they are masters of this stone-breaking venture.
I thank God because I reached 15 years to do this work. They bring my power for me. I dey get power because this work where they do. They make me they help my children for school. I dey get something where I go talk. I thank God for that one. And they make me they strong for my body.
I start this work. It's reached 20 years now. But I've trained my children inside the thing that I'm doing it, and I'm getting strength in it. So that's why I depend on it. I'm eating food with it. It's the thing that I'm eating with it now. So the same thing, I train my children with the stone that I'm breaking it.
Many now embrace stone-breaking job in Jos, owing to the abundance of hilly rocks in the state. Such rocks are used for various purposes, especially in construction.
These women you've seen, I've known them for over 25 years. We are neighbors with them. And I appreciated what they have been doing for that long time. What they are doing is only the Lord that is strengthening them. And they have the zeal, they do it happily. But still yet, it's just for the fact of, our nation. We would have appreciate people like this to be assisted by government or private institutions like the NGO, so that more young men too would have been accommodated in the job. It's a way of living, but a lot of us didn't know it. They build houses, they pay school fees, and support other people.
Sabongeri Tudunwada Quarry, opposite St. Moses Catholic Church in Jos North local government area of the state, attracts these elderly women who say the job keeps them healthier, stronger, and gives them unique strength.
What the men can do, the women can do even better, the popular saying goes. And these women have shown that what the men can do in this respect of breaking stones, they can do even better. Many of them have been breaking these stones for so many years, and they have been feeding their families with it and assisting their families and their husband along the line. Some of them too have said that the stone breaking is always giving them strength and they hardly fall sick and all of that. So it's expected that the government and other interested bodies should come to their aid so that they can continue this line of business, and then they can have so many things to do for the society and for themselves. For Trust TV News, just Dixon Salami Adama reporting.
And community of Adamawa Civil Organization wants more women participation in governance with decision-making roles. This comes as the group marks this year's International Women's Day. The group, a coalition of civil society groups operating in Adamawa State, while marking this year's International Women's Day with the theme Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, urged government at both national and subnational levels to pursue the inclusion of women in governance and decision-making processes in the society. Chairman of the network of Adamawa non-governmental organizations in the state, Peter Eguda, said women remain at the core of most humanitarian response because of their role as better change agents compared to their male counterparts. The report.
March 8 every year is set aside to mark International Women's Day globally. The community of Adamawa Civil Organization, comprising over 165 non-governmental organizations in the state, are staging this event, although belatedly. The organizers, however, are using this event to urge government both at the national and subnational levels to pursue inclusion of more women in governance and decision-making roles. Peter Eguda, convener of the group, said women are change agents.
Women also have been identified as people who are change agents, because some of our policies and some of our intervention are geared towards development issues, are geared towards livelihood issues. When you give a man money, for instance, if you are doing a cash programming, it's a general knowledge that when you give a man money, the next thing he wants to do, because he's a father, he wants to share it to all his wives. He wants to share it to all his friends, not necessarily the family that this money is targeted to. He might even overlook his family. So long his interest, what satisfies his interest as a man then is to reach out to every other person. But when you give it to a woman, she takes care of the house, She takes care of her husband, she takes care of her children, and she ensures that the house is taken care of properly. And that's why deliberately women, within the context of humanitarian response, we put women at the core of it, either in our right from our program delivery and project implementation.
Making the case for more women participation in governance and decision-making roles, he buttresses his point that women are change agents. He said society stands to gain once government makes the inclusion of women in government a matter of priority.
That the federal government and the state government at all levels should take it as a matter of priority to ensure that policies that are geared towards bringing the female gender down should be expunged or should be reviewed to accommodate them more, because we need them. We need them in the system. When we talk about exclusion, one of the SDGs talks about social exclusion. And the exclusion of people in decision-making process has been identified as one of the major triggers of crisis in the world globally today. So bringing in people to participate in issues that affect them to discuss, bring about cohesion, brings about development, bring about peace. So at this point in time in the 21st century world, we cannot but work with our women and bring them to the round table for us to discuss, and for them also to be policymakers and active players in political dispensation.
Now, even the coalition, we are more in number. Like some years back, when you look, you see that the coalition, we are only few people that are there. But now, this coalition is over 200 membership. And because of that, it means we have more people, you know, to propagate for the women. And the men too, the Nango, they're also supportive.
And now look at the foreign scene, where Marina Ovsyannikova, a Russian state television employee who brandished a slogan protesting the invasion of Ukraine on live TV, is facing 10 days in jail for the demonstration. At Moscow's Ostankhinsky District Court, where she is facing detention for publishing a video explaining her reasons for interrupting the news broadcast, she pleaded not guilty. Ovsyannikova also risked criminal charges with a penalty of up to 15 years in jail under new laws introduced after President Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine on February 24th. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.